Welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be talking about Hawaii, also called the Aloha state. Now, each state has several nicknames, I gotta say. In looking up like official nicknames for the state, sometimes they'll have 2, 3, 4. The list goes on. Anyway, Hawaii, the Aloha state. Now, Aloha is very similar to the word ciao, in that not ciao as in food, ciao as in hello and goodbye. So, as I recall, I know for a fact that ciao is a word used in Italian, and it can be used for both hello and goodbye. I think the Spanish also it's also used in Spanish for the same reasons. So aloha, it's a greeting in Hawaiian, and it can be used for both hello and goodbye. So let's get into it. Let's talk about Hawaii. All right, so Hawaii gained statehood August 21st, 1959. It became the 50th state to join the United States. The capital of Hawaii is Honolulu. The population is 1.45 million people, making it the 40th most populous state. The area that it covers is 10,931 square miles, or 28,311 kilometers squared, making it the 43rd largest state by size. The largest cities in Hawaii are Honolulu, East Honolulu, Pearl City, and Hilo. Let's see. Okay, so Hawaii first became settled around 1000 Common Era. That's ancient Hawaii. And you'll notice that it's spelled differently there, Hawaii, with the apostrophe between the two I's. I was looking up how Hawaii is spelled in the official document that granted Hawaii statehood. They spelled it without the apostrophe, and so that is correct, but it is also correct to have the apostrophe. So the official spelling is without, and the more historic spelling, I don't know. Anyway, Captain James Cook was the first documented European to come into contact with Hawaii and the Hawaiians. He named it the Sandwich Islands, so you may see some old documents, old books, old movies that are set in that time period. They call it the Sandwich Islands. That's what it was named after. The sponsor of the voyage, who was John Montagu, the 4th Earl of Sandwich. So that's why they called it the Sandwich Islands. Now, the Spanish may have sighted Hawaii before the British. However, the claim is generally seen as lacking in credibility. However, there are charts from the time period that depict the islands at the correct latitude, but the longitude is off by at least 10 degrees to the east. The Spanish explorer anyway, that guy, Lopez de Villalobos, was the Spanish explorer that's kind of possibly credited with that first sighting of Hawaii. It looks like they sighted Hawaii, but they just left it alone. They didn't bother to explore it or set up anything there. They just, hey, there's some islands over there. We're going to keep going. Anyway, Captain Cook was actually killed in Hawaii. It was kind of funny the way that all turned about, happened. Funny and disrespectful at the same time. So, it was on his second visit to Hawaii. Some idols were taken from a temple and used as firewood. Like I said, really disrespectful there. So the Hawaiians then stole a boat from his ship, and he and his men took the chief hostage. apparently they had done this before in Tahiti. So they demanded the return of the boat in exchange for the hostage, and it backfired horribly that time. Apparently, the Hawaiians attacked instead of just giving the boat back, and they killed Cook and 4 of his crew. The rest retreated back to their boat, or their ship, and they never got the boat back that was stolen. Disease, famine, and war killed half of the population by 1820. Now, I don't want to lay the blame for this squarely at the feet of the Europeans. Yes, the Europeans did introduce diseases to the Hawaiians that they were not equipped or they had ever dealt with before, so they hadn't built up any immunities to those diseases. But the war was intertribal war, not war with the Europeans that killed half of the population by 1820. There were a lot of intertribal wars going on at this point in time, and so it comes with this first item here, the Kingdom of Hawaii. So there was a lot of war between the different tribes because they were trying. There's basically this war of unification. So by 1795, they finally united the warring factions and the different tribes in Hawaii to come up with the Kingdom of Hawaii, which was ruled by Kamehameha. You may have heard the name, Kamehameha the Great, and his dynasty lasted until 1872. The annexation by the United States of the Hawaiian Islands started with Christianity. I'm not throwing the blame at Christianity's feet. What I'm saying is the missionaries that came to Hawaii, they converted a lot of the islanders over to Christianity, and it opened up the gates to the exploitation of the islands by commercial and political influences. Then King Kamehameha V, he died, and he didn't have an heir. So this led to, interestingly enough, an election to establish who the next king was going to be. The king who came in afterwards was very weak as opposed to the previous kings. And so several white businessmen and lawyers drafted a new constitution for Hawaii. They forced the king to sign it, basically at gunpoint. So King Kalakaua, there we go, Kalakaua, he signed it into law. And much of the king's authority was taken from him. And they disenfranchised most of the voters who weren't white. King Kalakaua, he died, and Queen Liliuokalani, and I'm probably not saying these very well, but she ascended to the throne. She was the king's sister. And she was going to then basically take back power for the Hawaiian monarchy. The businessmen at the time were not happy with the way things were going, and so they conspired to keep that from happening. Unfortunately, the conspirators did have the support of the U.S. military and the American minister to Hawaii, as in the ambassador to Hawaii, and they succeeded in taking over Hawaii, arresting the queen. And you may have heard of Dole Pineapple. Yeah, unfortunately, the Dole family and the company that they established was part of the conspiracy. So the queen tried to regain her authority by petitioning the U.S. government. President Grover Cleveland commissioned the Blount Report, which said that yes, the overthrow of the Hawaiian monarchy was illegal, and in all counts and demanded that the provisional government reinstate the Queen. The provisional government said no. Then Congress commissioned the Morgan Report, which found the conspirators not guilty, and they did find the Queen guilty. So there was a lot of self-serving back patting, back scratching. Basically, it was bad. I think personally that President Cleveland could have done a lot more at that point in time, but basically the United States at that point had annexed Hawaii. Grover Cleveland was friends with the Queen, and like I said, he did try to get her back into power, but William McKinley, who was the president after Grover Cleveland, he was more open to continuing with the annexation. Again, Cleveland, like I said, probably could have got the Queen back in power, but it sounds like he was unwilling to send in the military to do it, even though the military had caused the problem in the first place. So the New Lands Resolution made Hawaii a U.S. territory, and in 1900, Hawaii was granted self-rule, but it was under control of the Big Five. They were sugarcane processing plants who basically pushed at that point for statehood. It remained a territory for the next 59 years. And then in 1959, they cast a vote for statehood, and the residents of the islands voted 94.3% to 5.7. The 94.3 was for statehood, and the 5.7 was against statehood. So Hawaii was made a state. There is some talk now about making Hawaii its own sovereign nation, but that's probably not going to go anywhere. I could be wrong, but I just don't see it. All right, so in geography, the Hawaiian Islands, there's a lot of uninhabited tiny islands. There's 124 uninhabited islands. There are 7 bigger islands. 7 of those are inhabited, but only 6 of them are open to tourism. So we have Hawaii, which is the big island, Maui, the valley island, Oahu, the gathering space, Kauai, the garden island, Molokai, the friendly island, Lanai, the pineapple island, Nihau, it's probably the pronunciation, is the forbidden island, and then Kaho'olawe is the target island. And again, I apologize. I know just enough about the Hawaiian language to get myself in trouble. I know that you're supposed to pronounce all the vowels. But so we've got Hawaii. You should put an emphasis there at the end, Hawaii. And Maui, I don't put the emphasis there because there's no apostrophe. So Oahu. Anyway. I had an acquaintance whose name was Pua'a, and he got upset if somebody said his name Pu'a, which is understandable. His name was P-U-A', I believe, if I remember correctly. And Pua'a is like a wild boar, and so it's a strong animal, and he was proud that he had a strong name. And Pu'a is flower, and it's like, no, you don't, it's Pua'a. Anyway, so, yeah. Anyway, let's keep moving on. Okay, so Hawaii is actually... it's interesting. So Hawaii are volcanic islands. Mauna Kea is the largest of those islands. It is actually even taller than Mount Everest, when measured from the seafloor. So, measured from sea level up, it's 13,796 feet or 4,205 meters. But if you actually measure it from its base, it's 33,500 feet tall. Most of Mauna Kea is underwater. Anyway, tropical climate, the summer temps are between 75 degrees Fahrenheit and 88 degrees Fahrenheit, 24 to 31 Celsius. Winter, 65 to 83, which is 18 to 28. It does snow at times on Hawaii, but only like on the top of Mauna Kea and stuff like that. So it's not like they experience a lot of cold. There are basically two seasons in Hawaii. We have the dry season, which is May to October, and then we have the wet season, which is October to April. That's not. I just realized that that's not right. That should be October to May, not October to April. So May to October, it's kind of a drier time period in Hawaii. Then when October rolls around, it switches and it becomes the wet season. Yikes. Yeah. Hawaiian industry is divided into basically three. I mean, it has obviously other things there that they do in the islands, but the big three are tourism, defense, and agriculture. The tourism industry is the largest industry in Hawaii, as possibly an understatement. The defense sector is next. The United States has a very strong military presence in Hawaii. Agriculture, there are three main agricultural exports: raw sugar, molasses, and pineapple. Some of the big companies there as far as agriculture go, we have Dole, Syngenta, Corteva Agriscience. As far as the tourism goes, what can I say about Hawaii as far as tourism goes? Beaches, the Hawaii Volcanoes National Park, island tours, cruises, hikes, fishing, culture. I mean, it's a series of islands, so there's beaches everywhere. Waikiki Beach, Oahu, on Oahu, Ko'olina Beach on Oahu, Waimea Bay Beach Park in Oahu, Holly State Park in Kauai, Hanalei Bay in Kauai. I can go on and on. Diamond Head, there's tons of beaches there. Cruises are another popular touristy thing to do, where you pick up the cruise wherever it happens to start at, and you cruise around the islands, stopping at various ports. There's island tours by boat, by plane, by whatever other means are possible. Hiking is a big one. Fishing, I mean, you're on the ocean there, you might as well go fishing. And there's plenty of cultural centers all throughout the island to explore the native culture of the island. On to the trivia. Like I said, this is kind of my favorite part. Surfing and paddleboarding were both invented here in Hawaii. Interestingly enough, you can grab a coconut off the ground, slap a mailing label on it, and mail it anywhere in the world from Hawaii. Yeah, you don't even have to pay postage on that. At least that's what I've read. I'll have to try that sometime. Go to Hawaii and mail a coconut somewhere. You can, apparently in some of the gift shops, you can actually buy special coconuts that are decorated and stuff and just slip them in the mail and send them off. You don't need to box it up at all. You just mail it. Hawaii does not have smog. They have VOG, which is volcanic fog. So the volcanic ash and stuff gets mixed up with the fog, and you get VOG instead. The Hawaiian flag incorporates both the Union Jack from the British flag and the stripes from the United States flag to kind of show the kind of influences that it's had over the years. All gambling is illegal in Hawaii. There are two states in the United States that ban all gambling: Hawaii and Utah. The Hawaiian alphabet has 12 letters total. Most of them are vowels. There's one royal palace in the United States, and it is the Iolani Palace in Hawaii. Hawaii is also the only state that commercially grows coffee and cocoa, cacao beans to make chocolate. Over 10 million tourists visited in 2019. There are only 1.5 million people in the state. 1.45 million people in the state. So there's 1.45 million people in the state of Hawaii, and it got over 10 million tourists. That's insane. In Kauai, chickens outnumber people. The largest and most active volcanoes in the United States are in Hawaii, along with the largest dormant volcano. On Kauai, you cannot build a building that is taller than a palm tree. There are like 2 exceptions, and they're like state buildings that were already there before this statute went into place. So you cannot build anything taller than a palm tree on Kauai. All beaches in the state are public beaches. Coconuts are more deadly than sharks. They kill more people. Coconuts kill more people than sharks. Twins cannot work together. Yeah. Let's see. I don't have it here, but I have it over on a note. In Hawaii, it is illegal to have a tattoo behind your ear unless it's done under the supervision of a registered physician. I don't know. And the astronauts for the Apollo program, they trained in Hawaii from 1965 to 1972. It was the site of where they were doing their astronaut training for like the surface of the moon. Anyway, if you have questions about Hawaii, if I don't know the answer, I will find them for you. Please like and subscribe. Comments down below as always. Bell on for notifications, and enjoy yourself. Next time, we will be talking about the great state of Idaho.